Today, I'd like to cover a topic close to my heart, which is an old social enterprise I'd set up some time ago called Enablecode, which was helping people with disabilities get technology careers. Now, we did this in Vietnam because in this country, there's about 8 million people with disabilities. The incidence rate is quite high, and unfortunately, that's quite correlated with poverty and unemployment, as it is in many countries. But given how fast Vietnam is developing, it's sad to see anyone who's been left behind in this rapid economic growth. So our idea was that we would create technology jobs, so high quality careers for people with disabilities, which people with disabilities are quite suited to technology roles. Traditionally in Vietnam, people have thought that someone with a disability, because they were immobile, also wouldn't be able to think. So they were often given very menial jobs, often manual jobs, which is a bit of a non-starter if you have, a physical disability. But obviously, someone with a disability can work very easily with a computer. The assistive technology is great. Very little mobility is actually needed to interact with a computer. So this was ideal, and we proved that. So the first objective of the company was really to get the image of people, Vietnamese with disabilities, working in high quality jobs. And we got in our time, we started this about 10 years ago, and there was an enormous amount of television and media coverage. So, we did a lot of good in changing those perceptions, which we're proud of. So we had at a peak about 15 people in the office, mainly with disabilities. And we were doing websites for clients. We were doing mobile applications, basic programming, databases, that kind of work. But the technology moved on from that. So the pre-AI automation platforms were already making this a lot easier for companies to do by themselves. So we then looked at what is next in terms of what kind of technology work somebody with a disability can do. And we settled on business process outsourcing. So we teamed up with some big companies doing that, and we're helping a lot of people, hundreds of people, go into those kinds of jobs. And they're typically things like data labeling, image recognition, AI training data sets. But the end problem with a AI training data set is that it's a bit of a one-off task. Once it exists, for example, image recognition for self-driving cars to train an AI, then that database is resold many times. So it doesn't need redoing over and over again. The same with many other BPO traditional tasks, let's say outsourced invoicing, outsourced back office functions. AI is now getting very good with its agents at replacing those. So you're seeing big job losses in places like India and the Philippines, where that was quite prevalent before. And unfortunately, although we still have some people working in that field that we'd organised in the past, the career prospects there are not great anymore. It's just waiting basically for a lot of that to be automated out. So we were also part, while we were there, in terms of changing perceptions of, there's a World Bank consortium called the Solutions for Youth Employment. So we were very active in that, and that's between big tech philanthropy wings, like from Microsoft Philanthropies, governments, civil society, and charities all coming together, trying to come up with solutions for this globally. Also with the United Nations, with the UNICEF and UNDP, even taking part in the Global Digital Compact consultations about the future of AI and humanity. So we did a lot of that. We got a lot of publicity. So that helped shift perceptions, which was part of the early objectives. But then what next? So I can give general advice to anybody. So any young person who's struggling to get in the workforce, because AI is specifically removing these entry-level jobs, internships, white collar junior work, basic technology work. All of this is getting replaced out by AI. And of course, people with disabilities are no exception. And actually, unfortunately, sad to say, when you get rapid change like this, the people most affected are the most vulnerable. So if you as a young person are struggling a little bit at the moment, with this change, and job prospects do spare a thought for those less fortunate as well. So what to do? I can't think of a next magic bullet that's going to solve this in terms of finding a specific set of tasks to build a service around that people with disabilities can do that we can sell to clients. So we had websites, we had mobile apps, then we had BPO. I can't think of the next one in that chain at the moment. The best we can do really is to say, well, employability skills generally, number one for people with or without disabilities, learn AI. You've got to be literate in that. You've got to be not just literate, but good at it in the workplace. Number two, human to human skills still have value. So things like empathy, caring, persuasion skills, communication skills, lateral thinking skills, creativity. This all still has an ongoing value. So keeping on with those, that will increase your chances. But I'm still looking for the next idea, even working with AIs to try and get their views on it. And we haven't come up with anything that is a magic solution just yet, but we won't give up. And I think we've done some good in the past. We will continue trying to generally educate the market and look for that elusive magic solution going forward. So wish us luck.